earlier you spoke about Aries Spears, and of course we all seen the Boosie and Vlad kind of fall out over interview pricing, and then Aries jumped in there, and Aries, he thought his worth was more. And him and Vlad, and I haven't seen Vlad go at somebody since he came at you. The way he's been going to Aries Spears.
You mean the way he tried to come at me and
The
then
way,
got proven to be a stone cold liar and then doubled down on the lie, refusing to admit that the email address and the email of him inviting me to the show, his producer inviting me to the show, was real. Oh yeah, that could have been anybody. That's why they blocked it out. I mean, what did you want us to do? You want us to dox your producer's email address?
yeah,
Maybe I
no,
should.
yeah, no, 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 definitely. I could see an interest. Vlad TV wanting a Jaguar Wright. In
Yeah, no,
regards,
I'm good. I'm
yeah.
good. I'm good.
For him to go at Aries though, and Aries is just now he's on I believe Shaq's podcast where he's like, all right, let me go over to Shaq's side of things, I guess. Um,
Shaquille O'Neal?
yeah, he just did Shaquille O'Neal's podcast.
That's disgusting.
Oh man,
That's disgusting.
oh man, uh,
Shaq? Shaq is interviewing that creep?
yeah, yeah,
Why?
maybe issues with Vlad. Who knows? Who knows?
People, why? Why is anybody interviewing him?
Aries at one point did have what you would call a career. Mad TV, uh,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
great comics, some great comic
Yeah.
sets.
And then he decided to look for children to victimize on camera.
Yeah, that was wild. That's wild.
And then he decided, "Ah,
Yeah,
you know, when I started talking about this again recently, somebody came into my comments and told me that I was blowing it out of proportion, that I turned a skit that went too far into a full blown allegation. That's what they said. So I want to ask you something as a father. Matter of fact, I want to ask everyone watching who's a father. Imagine one of your friends say, "Hey, I got a possible acting opportunity for your little one. It's a PSA, an after school program that, it's gonna be great, da 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 da, yada yada yada, and we need a kid that's your child's age. Can I take the kid over to do this PSA?" And you trust this friend with your child. That friend then takes that child over to some strange man's house, to his home, takes him upstairs, strips him down to his drawers, and then tells him to play with a toy train like this to the camera and say, mmm. And even though the child is scared and crying, the child is forced to do it while grown adults are orchestrating this and filming it. And if that's not bad enough, then that child is taken to the bathroom and stripped out of the only clothing he had on, his little drawers, and put in a bathtub fully nude, while this same strange man who was telling him to do all kinds of weird things with a toy then grabs him by his legs and starts playing with his feet, put him in the water, and then squirting little water at him with a water gun and doing all of this stuff. Now, I want you to think about this. This is a nude child. He's being pulled up by his legs, completely naked, and being filmed.
Boy, when you take it like
Clearly,
that.
if the child is legs is up in the air, that means his back is down in the water, which means his business is exposed. Legs open, see? And if that's not enough, then that man gets into the tub with that nude child and starts fondling him on camera while another grown ass man is sitting there filming it. And then that grown ass man decides to put on some cut up Daisy Dukes and tells the little boy to look at him and then come over and rub him down with baby oil. And it's filmed. This little child rubbing this half naked grown ass man.
Oh, boy.
And then the child was given $100 bill and sent home crying with the person that said that they were a friend that brought them there and still lied to the parent after it happened until they had no choice but to come clean years later when the video surfaced online. Now I want to ask you something. Does that sound like a skit that went too far? Or does that sound like child porn?
Yeah, no, dark humor has a cutoff, and that cut off a long time ago. Uh,
The
that
second
cutoff
that
was
that boy, the second that Aries Spears had any contact with that boy
right.
while he was fully nude and it was being filmed by David Spade, who, after I came forward saying his name live online and called him and he refused to take my phone calls, all of a sudden decided he didn't like the weather in Los Angeles anymore and left from up off the avenue and now lives in Oklahoma. You know, speaking of racism, David Spade is black in Oklahoma. He likes to film little boys getting fondled in Oklahoma. Spates. Spates.
Oh man.
Why is anybody interviewing Aries Spears? The very grown ass man that had that 7-year-old little boy rubbing him down with baby oil? We was sitting there fondling him and playing with him and squirting water on him with his genitals exposed, filming him. That's a joke. What would you do to a man that did that to your kid?
Man, there's no coming back from that.
What would you do? And I find it funny that everybody's so quick to cancel Aries Spears because Vlad put his ass out on the block like the whole ass nigga that he is. But it was Vlad who actually sat there while he was exposing what a problem he was and how terrible he was and how awful he was. That he was the one that helped Aries keep his career going and revived his career after he got busted for touching up on that little boy. So you the one that's safety? When we should have just canceled him and left him canceled back then. You the one that brought him back.
Facts, he did.
I read the transcripts. What does that say about us as a people? What does that say about us? Like the Kevin Hart ghost, full circle moment. What does it say about us?
The fact that we put that out there, not saying that, there might be old, PDFers doing this all day, Epstein, like the fact that we record that, yeah, we would put that out as comedy is it's disturbing to say what are you showing that,
Yeah,
like you
and
said,
after
what
that
is
happened, Tiffany Haddish's career, it said whew, went up. She got girls trip. Matter of fact, she was so proud of what she encouraged that young boy's sister to do, who was 14 years old, when they brought her down to what I think it was the Laugh Factory in LA for a so-called child's comedy camp or whatever. And they had her there filming her while they were asking her to assimilate fellatio with a Subway sandwich. Tiffany Haddish asked her to do that, told her to do that, demanded that she do that. And while the girl's sitting there crying, she's sitting there trying to force her to perform head on a Subway sandwich being filmed. And then turned around and did that same shtick in Girls Trip with that grapefruit.
damn.
Cold blooded.
No, there's an NFL player or a lady
And
by the
they
name of
want to bring that bitch back for part two?
oh, man,
Are you kidding me?
damn,
Now, see, I hadn't read the documents, I hadn't read the lawsuit, I hadn't listened to. Do you know it was that movie Girls Trip that triggered those kids, and that's why they filed that lawsuit? Because when she saw the scene with Tiffany doing that with the grapefruit, it took her back. She got the PTSD. It took her back to what she made her do on camera with that fucking Subway sandwich. And guess what? She gave her $100 too.
damn, shit, this is all bad. There was an NFL player. We don't know who yet because she didn't mention it, but a young white Caucasian girl by the name of Sophie Rain was offered $10 million to have her virginity taken, and yeah, this was by an NFL player, and I'm like, I'm sure it was our color, and I'm you know, um, like you said, why do we go out so far to do such things?
They
Uh,
pre-ordered. They pre-ordered her, huh?
Pre-ordered, offered 10 mil.
Well, you know
I'm like,
that little Tay girl. That little Tay girl. She said she had pre-orders for
yeah,
her first coming out party on OnlyFans. She couldn't wait.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
these are things that go on in third world countries. For
A lot less money.
yeah, it's
And
just, the fact.
sometimes the girls don't make it through that experience alive. There's
Very
a
true.
young woman who I think her name is Brandy. God rest her soul. Down there in New Orleans. She lost her life recently. She was in a car with a man who don't know what happened. Nobody knows what happened. He's got a reputation though of meeting girls online and doing weird stuff. But for whatever reason, they ended up off the road in Louisiana in a shallow water bed, and somehow, even though she's known to be a strong singer, She's no longer here with us, and he was able to get away.
Mm.
I think you know him. You know that dude. What's his name? Chopper City?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
You
yeah.
might want to start being more honest, Chopper, about what happened to Brandy. Because she has friends, one of which I know personally, who ain't gonna let this go. All of your Diddy stories. From what I've been hearing, you got a little Diddy in you too. May Brandy rest in peace.
Yeah,
Poor
he might.
child.
He got to answer to that. He got to answer to that.
Poor child. Poor child. I, I don't know what's wrong with our people, but for whatever reason, it's gotten to the point now with blacks in America that as long as you're being paid to be disgraced, it's okay. You want to know what's really wild? Do you remember the minstrel show era? The step and fetch it and the Sambo and all of that? You know, they used to say that those actors justified it because they got paid. I might play a maid, but I'm rich. I get money to be a maid. And like that was how it used to be. And then we fought very hard, right? This whole civil rights era to be treated as equal American citizens, to not be looked at for the color of our skin, but for what our character produced. Correct?
Yeah.
Something went wrong in the 80s and the 90s. And then the next thing you know, rap music became the catalyst for saying, who gives a fuck about whether or not you're respected? Just make sure you get paid. How the hell is Luther Campbell running to be a what? They want to put Luther Campbell in Washington? People are backing him? For what? What is wrong with us? Uncle Luke? Why would you call yourself Uncle Luke? Oh, that's right, because everybody's got a dirty uncle who likes playing real nasty with young girls, right? So now they you gonna go to the Washington and you gonna fight for the black rights and I'd rather have Willie D.
Yeah.
Luther
Oof.
Campbell. What they gonna play if you win? What's your campaign song gonna be? Pop that I don't wanna like what's it gonna be?
Damn. Damn.
What's wrong with us? Why are we sitting here normalizing weirdo behavior? And it's disgusting because there's a lot of black people on that time right now. Let's go
Yeah.
back to that roast. There's a couple of things we didn't talk about. Full circle moment. How many times did The Rock tell Kevin Hart to sit on his knee? How many times did The Rock tell Kevin Hart to suck his nipple? How many?
More than a few.
How many times did he say that he had no problem with stripping his wife? And his wife sat there and laughed. And I think that was her mama.
Mm.
Even Chelsea Handler jumped. Don't you want her to have a real man?
I said, yeah, that was. I don't know if that was on script.
Come on, Kevin, just suckle here. And all he could do, man, stop it, man. You got AIDS. That was it. That's your big comeback. He got AIDS. All his jokes was whack. He's supposed to be the comedian that they're honoring for how great he was. And he was the wackest motherfucker on that stage.
Yeah, he got
You know
up
what he
there. I
did?
think. Yeah, I think he'll deliver something.
You know what he did talk about though a lot? What he did acknowledge a lot? All his brand deals. You are a corporate slut. Your Walmart and your Chase and all your other brand deals. You are just a whore that they use to get America, Black America, to keep buying overpriced, probably whatever services and goods. You piece of shit. And I hate the fact that you're fucking from Philly. I liked your brother. Your brother was a good dude. For the most part, I can't really say anything bad about 40. Hell of a pool player. You were a brat then, wearing children's clothing off the rack. The only difference is now it's tailor made to fit. But a toddler suit is still a toddler suit.
Okay.
The truth is, everybody that was attached to that thing, the whole black community should throw them all away, including Cheryl. Because what's wild, somebody just reminded me about it the other day, years ago, when she was on that show to talk with Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne was defending Piers Morgan for making racially insensitive jokes about Meghan Markle. And Cheryl ran down on her ass about it. Talked about how inappropriate it was and how racist it was and how she couldn't understand how Sheryl Underwood could make excuses for Piers Morgan, who was clearly being racist towards Meghan Markle on a network television show. She stood tall, but they pay you at Netflix to be a mark ass coon. And you have the audacity to dress it up and say freedom of speech is alive today in this place.
Yeah, she said that.
I give it to you. Even when you're hurt, you read off of prep, you read perfectly off of teleprompters. They told you what to say, and you said it for the money. They sat there and made fun of the fact that your husband unalived himself repeatedly. And all you could do was tell a bunch of weird sex jokes and talking about how they wanted to screw you and Lizzo. No, they don't. No, they don't. They really don't. And you know it. They meant everything that they said about you. And it was cool. You was able to stomach it, step and fetch it, Sambo it out for the money. I hope it was more than 1 million. I hope you got more than 1 million. Because people ain't gonna forget that image that was painted in their minds when they compared you to a dried out purple roll up that was left in a dryer. They ain't gonna forget that. But it's all the racist whites that are gonna repeat it and talk about, yeah, that's our boy. Did you see the way he got her ass? Man, we gotta raise more money for Chud. Fuck you all. The only thing that I consider somewhat just in this moment about all of the money that y'all accepted is that you're gonna have to spend it twice as fast because the economy keeps fucking just tanking. I hope you're forced to spend most of that money because your bills are sky high through the roof. That is yeah. That's the only thing that I can consider like a win in this moment behind all of that.
Yeah, they over. I saw them over sexualize Tiana Taylor, where the guy told Pete Davidson, "Hey, go get her." I'm
No,
like,
he straight called Tiana Taylor a bitch.
oh
Yo,
yeah,
that
great.
bitch. Yo, that bitch did it. Ain't nobody say nothing.
No, nothing.
But I mean, it's easy to over sexualize Tiana Taylor. She over sexualizes herself, and I get it. But it's hard to believe when she opens her mouth because she sounds like a straight dude.
Damn.
She talks like an idiot and she sounds like a dude. Everybody knows it. I guess everybody keeps forgetting how bi she is, how fluid she is. Maybe she's a little more than bi. Maybe that's why she's so busy running around selling her body for everyone to see so people won't realize that, she is what she is and she can keep up the front so she can keep doing these fake celebrity relationships like she did with old boy, Aaron Pierre. He got out of there quick, quick.
Damn.
I guess he don't enjoy watching her eat snatch like her husband did.
Come on.
It
Yeah,
is what it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
Brandy.
Yeah, there was a scene that showed Tony Hitchcliffe where he said, "You look like you would make your slaves dance" or something. He said, and he turned around to Tiffany Haddish, and I don't know who that was there. Tiffany Haddish, like Tracy Spence or something. I don't even know who that was, but he made the dancing gesture like damn
Yeah,
that right there. I said, "Wow, okay,
yeah.
we hold on, wait, we're not gonna stop this. Wait a minute, this like you said, this is Netflix for the world.
The
Like,
whole world,
what are we doing?"
the whole world is looking at how this country treats African Americans on camera in front of a live audience, and we got African Americans making excuses for it. Aries Spears actually tried to defend it. But I mean, why wouldn't a guy who thinks it's funny to play inappropriately with a nude child on camera? Why wouldn't he? I'm sure that roast was nothing compared to what he's done on camera. Fuck you, Vlad.
Right.
You sat there and you saved that piece of shit. He's being canceled for being greedy, not for being a predator. Interesting. So interesting. I tried to offer Tiffany an olive branch. I tried to give her a chance to come here and sit with us and get to the bottom of it because she was supposed to come here and she was supposed to expose Aries and David Spade. She was supposed to talk about how Aries actually admitted to her that he got paid to throw her under the bus and that the elites who are, all cool with the yarmulke people, said that he was covered. That was y'all humiliation ritual. You were supposed to tell me all of that. Just like you also said that Kevin Hart was acting funny and you thought that they had him on a string too. Maybe I should tell everybody all of the things that you said to me while you was busy trying to gain my confidence, while you was busy trying to find out exactly how much I knew about David Spates and all of that. And then you asked me if I had his phone number and if I had his email address and if I knew where he lived and had his address because you was planning on suing him. And then you took that information and gave it to another lawyer for another purpose. But we won't go too far on that. You goofy bitch. You don't think that I was clocking your movements? You don't think I was clocking you? Or when you invited me to come to go to that male strip show after a taste of soul, and I told you no, because I'm not interested in having sweaty cock and balls and stuff in my face by a bunch of strangers. I'm in a relationship. And you kept trying to get me to go because you was probably gonna try to fucking mic me up like they said, like, it's alleged you did with Chingy. So some weird stuff could happen to me. You don't think I know? I went back and I was looking. I checked. I checked toots. I gave you an opportunity. And instead, you tried to fuck me over. And then next thing you know, all of your problems is being solved, huh? As much as I love Malcolm D. Lee, please get a new cast for Girls Trip 2. Half of that cast is trash and should not be supported by the black community, in my opinion. Get Zendaya or somebody. Get Tiana. Give us something where she ain't gotta worry, running around getting taken down by black, old white men and having to do weird things with rectums with firearms and stuff. Like, give us something respectable or something halfway. There's other people that can be hired to do that movie. You want to know what else was interesting about Tiffany Haddish in that roast? Kevin Hart did not acknowledge her and mention her name once.
Yeah, not once. That was she's there. Camera pan to her many times.
He said, my sisters, and y'all not gonna play too hard on my sisters. And he said everybody's name except for Tiffany Haddish. And then she turned around and tried to defend the George Floyd joke by talking about Lonnie, talking about so we're supposed to be taking things seriously from people who were mad that they weren't invited or whatever the case may be. But the question is, what was your purpose for being there? Because you weren't even acknowledged by the man who was being honored. They had the fat girl talk off the teleprompter. They didn't even ask you to speak. But see, the one thing that I think a lot of people forget, Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish have the same handler. It's funny, honey, her name just happens to be Chelsea Handler. I think a lot of people forgot Kevin, his Hollywood career got broken on Chelsea's show. What was it, the Chelsea Lately or something?
Yeah, Chelsea
He
Lake.
reminded us, yeah, yeah. And she handles Tiffany as well, because the night that I went to Barnes and Noble to go to Tiffany's book signing, she was supposed to be going out. She invited me to come and hang out with her and Chelsea Handler, and then she called Chelsea, and Chelsea told her she had to come alone. But you got a problem with being around me? For what? You afraid of what I might know? I don't know. Like, you afraid of what I might see? Chelsea Handler.
Damn, boy.
What a name.
Goddamn. All right,
And her
Jack.
Black History moment is taken down. Curtis Periwinkle Jackson. That's wow.
I
What a
know.
life. So yeah, anyway.
Gee, no, Jack, I got to ask you because I got to get your take on this. Like I said, the world's on fire. Everything's going crazy. But I did see that you know, they have, AI has gotten so far advanced to where these robots are now going to be for sale. They said $20,000, $200 down. You will get some Jetson type robot in your house to be able to do your chores for you. And we remember the lady who gave the Matrix their idea, the Matrix and Terminator. I forget her name, but what's her
Sophia
name?
Stewart.
Sophia Stewart. And these things look like they're slowly coming into our reality, but it looks like we're accepting it. Like we're accepting this future. Like, what are your thoughts? And I know this is going to go beyond, probably even our livelihood, but what are your thoughts on us accepting the autonomous future?
I mean, at this point in time, what do our thoughts matter? Do we even got a choice?
Do we even got a choice?
Like it's they done sold. We done. You want to know what's funny? These people are gonna buy these robots and bring them into their homes. You didn't see Cardi B pushing the transhumanism agenda with that robot suit that she had while she was sitting there rubbing one out to a guitar solo, and that was supposed to be her talent. You
No,
didn't see?
I ain't see that. What the hell?
Yeah, yeah. She was sitting there in her robot suit, sitting there. They were calling it her clitar solo. That's what people pay money to go see. Dressed like a robot, rubbing one out. And then she brought her children out on stage with her. She brought the child out on stage to parade it. Like, I don't know why these people feel so comfortable with parading their kids all out in social media and all out in the world with all these predators out here. Or are you just getting them ready? I don't know.
I mean, Sukihana's pregnant, so I mean, I don't know what's the
Sukiana's pregnant. Who is the daddy? Because the last I heard, it was supposed to be either Ray J or Dr. Umar. What kind of life is she living with those two niggas?
Now, hold on, Jack. Ray J's battling for his life right now in the hospital. You know, he got knocked out.
Is
He got
he?
knocked out Saturday. Yeah,
Is he?
it was pretty
Is he
bad. It was pretty bad.
battling? I watched it. It wasn't that bad. He was able to get up and say, "Hey, why did you knock me out? I thought we had this all fixed."
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that.
I find it funny that just, it was a couple of days later after the backlash about him potentially being, questioned by law enforcement for, admitting to fixing a fight. I think the only thing that happened is that when that boy knocked him, he knocked the high off of his brain and he forgot. And he started talking and telling the truth. And I mean, yes, now he's in the hospital again.
Oh, shit.
He was in the hospital the last time, remember? And then he came out and he put that stage makeup on to make it look like he was bleeding from his eye. Like, are you people really believing any of this shit? So what? He's in the hospital. Do us a favor. Like, really, have a stroke. Be in a coma. Like, let us see something real. Stop selling it.
Well, to switch over, you know, we haven't
Haven't
talked
you
to you.
noticed that every time he gets in trouble, he always has some kind of huge life crisis? He was about to be investigated for human transporting over there with Zeus, and then the next thing you know, he was sitting out on the roof talking about he was thinking about jumping. Like he is the little boy that cried unalive.
Man, that's damn. Now, you know, we haven't spoken to you with Ray J's sister. You know, Brandy put out her memoir
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
she told that she was groomed by boys
Yeah,
to
that's
men.
what she said. That's what she said.
Do you look at his grooming when she was already, I guess, 15? He was, let's say, 19, 20, I think, or maybe 21.
No,
Um,
she was 15, he was 21, going on 22. And when he turned 22, she was just turning 16. Yeah. And like I said, back in that day, it was very common, very common. The only part of that story that I didn't appreciate was you're going to sit up there and you're going to hang Wanye out to dry, but you're not going to be honest about your parents knowing exactly what was going on, or your mom knowing exactly what was going on. Your parents knew what was going on. Everybody knew your parents knew what was going on. The label knew what was going on. For crying out loud, Adina Howard did a whole interview talking about how Sylvia Rome told her that she needed to leave Wanye alone because he was Brandy's boyfriend while Brandy was still underage. Everybody knew what was going on.
yeah,
You've heard Princess Love say on several occasions, especially on camera, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, exactly how overbearing and very much so involved Sonia Norwood is in her children's lives. Why do people I don't And all I'm saying is if Warren ain't gonna get the smoke, then I think her parents need to get the smoke. Everybody needs to get the smoke as well. But the biggest issue that I have when it comes to the Norwood family is that people are still sitting here pretending like they don't know that these people are stone cold fucking liars and will say and do anything and lie about anything to get to that bag and to preserve their appearances.
yeah. She's trying to sell a book. I mean,
I mean,
You got to go with the narrative.
sell the book. Like, listen to me. Everybody's rewriting history. People running around calling her the vocal Bible, and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, Brandy can sing. Make no mistake about it. She can sing. Nobody's saying that she can't. The problem is she's not Whitney Houston. She's never gonna be. And y'all need to stop trying to reinvent that. Stop. Let her be what she is. And it's funny because half of that tour, they were all lip singing. So it's the fake for me. It's just the I don't wish her any harm. I wish her well. I know she's been through a lot. I know she's worked hard in this game. I know she's, just like everybody else, but she's just as big a part of the problem as everybody else is. She knows. There's so many things that she could have talked about that she like if you're gonna come out and do a full expose in your book, then do it all. But I just thought the Wanye Mars thing was a cheap shot. I thought it was a cheap shot because he's not the only grown man that you were involved with at that time. Call them all out.
Oh yeah, no. Picture show. There was a few.
Let's not sit there and act like you didn't have a shitload of over. I wasn't a fast girl, really. From 1994 to 2001, you were very busy. Is everybody forgetting how they sat there and went through that whole story and lied and created that fake marriage to save her reputation? That the baby's daddy had to later then come out and talk about exactly all the manipulation and how they tried to make him sign NDAs and all kinds of stuff. Like, I mean, it's I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand why people have a hard time believing that actors are actors.
These are facts. These are facts.
I wish her all the
Everybody's
best.
playing.
I wish her all the best. I wish her well. Cat is cat. It is what it is. Is there something wrong with the culture of older men messing with younger women and the power dynamics and all of that, which is why the laws are what they are now? Absolutely. Was Wanye an adult? Absolutely. Was she a minor? Absolutely. And her parents knew? Absolutely. And Adina Howard knew? Absolutely. And Sylvia Rome knew? Absolutely. And everybody knew? Absolutely. Call it all out. That's all. If you're going to do it. Because the thing is, turning something that serious into a press moment to sell your book while Wanye Morris is out on the road and his children are out there performing and people are talking about he needs to be arrested. Was the stuff that he was saying wild and out of control? Absolutely. Him on the Breakfast Club talking about she was old enough to get it. Oh, that was the soundbite from hell. But you need to take into consideration that part of the reason why he felt that comfortable with talking the way he talked about that whole situation was because he had permission to be with her. What would be the purpose of him? What would be the purpose of him working with her mom to have her go on the prom with Kobe Bryant while they were still together? Like if they weren't busy staging shit in the backdrop?
Yeah, I thought things were for the look. Even her, Boys to Men, Kobe. I thought it was just for the look. Not that she is, going into the linen closet with him. I mean,
Listen to me. It was what it was. And all the young girls was doing it. And I'm not sure if she was all that honest about because I think she tried to make it sound like he took her virginity. And from what I remember, that's not true. He was not her first, from what I remember. I could be wrong, but I remember a couple of people who knew her. We all were working in the same studios, around the same producers, same time. From what I remembered, She was not a virgin when she was with YA.
Uh, lastly, Jack, we got to ask you because we got to see like the government. The things they put in front of us, like you said, like what do we believe? Not only in Hollywood, but everything else. We watch the moon stuff, going around the moon. There, we talk about AI, we talk about all this stuff. Like, what? How do we get the real information? Like, how do we? What should we be looking at? You have your podcast where you speak on like how we should be actually looking into the real. What does the normal citizen in America should be doing to look for, behind the behind the curtain, basically?
Verify the information yourself. Stop counting on and relying on all these other people to tell you something. Most of them are put there to mislead you. And if you are really interested in the truth, you should come and check us out because we point people in the right direction. We tell you where to look and we share whatever we find. But we've just gotten too used to and too comfortable with trusting whatever somebody shows us or tells us. When I think about all of the cyber crimes that happen on a day to day basis, it makes me think about when we were kids and they used to say to us, never trust strangers, don't talk to strangers, and things of that nature. And what happened to that? Because that's what we do on the internet. We're talking to strangers. Shit, some of the time you're talking to, it ain't even a person. Like these AI channels, these AI commercials are running rampant.
No, without question.
Stop accepting everything that's given to you by strangers and go and check up on it yourself. Yeah, it's
Well, like you said, Jack, they can come to your channel, get a little piece of it, and kind of get pointed the right direction. Can you tell them again, for those who aren't picking up what you're putting down, how to follow, where to come get this opportunity to kind of delve deeper, basically, how to follow you, where all
the
channels or all
Jaguar Wright
platforms?
Show or the Jaguar Wright Effect on YouTube, uh, Patreon /Jaguar Wright, Sundays and Wednesdays. You can always go to my website, thejaguarwright.com, and you can get updates, hyperlinks to everything that you need. And even if you don't bang with me, even if you don't want to trust me, because so many people have lied to you and tried to tell you that I'm a liar and you shouldn't trust me, you shouldn't believe me, that's fine. Check it out for yourself. Go back and see how real it is. Stop believing everything these people tell you, because most of them are there to lie to you.
No, definitely. And most times, people jump in the comments. They're like, "Hey, how do I find this? How do I find it?" We're gonna put the beginning of the video, the links to all your information before this even starts.
Oh,
At the
thank you.
end, in the description, we're gonna put it everywhere. Where if y'all have to ask the question, how do we find the links to everything, and even the shirt you have on? Shout out to the shirt, the Jaguar Right. I can't even see the bottom of it, but shout out
The
that shirt.
Jaguar Wright Show.
Come on, beautiful man, beautiful. To get merch and everything, we're gonna put links to everything. We want to make sure that they can get in
Thank
touch
you.
with you and be a
Thank you.
part of whatever movement you have. So we're
Thank
gonna get
you.
on that now, but we appreciate so much your time and you taking time out to just speak on not
Oh,
only the
and by
roast
the
but
way, before you finish, for everyone who's donated to my legal defense fund on GoFundMe, I want to thank you. We're not, we haven't hit our goal yet. Please keep on, because I'm telling you, like, I got to get, I, there's an opportunity that I got offered, and I got to get all of this stuff handled because it's going to require me to be able to leave the country. And I can't leave the country with things unsettled. We got to get a lot of this stuff handled. I want to be able to go out, back out into the world, around the world, and do the work without having to worry about all of this foolishness. And there's a couple of people that we're looking into making sure that we have the right legal representation, because it's time to start suing people now. It's just time.
no, without question, we want everyone to who does again give anything to the GoFundMe. We're gonna put that at the beginning of this interview. Put it in the description. We will shout each and every one of you out on this platform. We will post your name in the comments, if you want to be posted, because that is the movement that we are pushing, and we definitely want not only for if y'all want to see Jaguar back on the couch, back on the blue couch. Let's try to get some stuff going, because we definitely want to see you be able to move around
It would
without
be
all the
nice to
stuff.
come back into the studio again. It's been a long time.
Well, we shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to. With that being said, Jag, as you already know, thank you again. We appreciate you and your time. And we got to say it, Jaguar Wright, you are, and you is, and you always will be a real life 3-star. Let's go.
Bye.
Real life. If that shit ain't real life, it ain't